my beauty and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Today I'm going to go over the things that you should probably bring to college. Now I am currently a sophomore. I'm not living in the dorms next year, but I did live in the dorms my freshman year, so I kind of know what you should have in the dorms and what you shouldn't. But today I'm going to go over the things that you probably should grab to bring to your dorms. So that's really all I had to say for this intro, so let's get into the actual things that you need. Now, some of this stuff is actually from my dorm. I left a lot of it at my college town in a storage unit, but I did bring some of it back because, well, I liked using it, so I was going to continue to use it. The first thing that I recommend is this collapsible laundry unit. I use it now. As you might be able to see, there's some laundry in it, but it collapses. I just put it on top of my dresser. And I just threw clothes into it, and it was super easy to just take in and out because it's plastic, so it slid on the wood, and it was just really convenient to have. If you don't have a place to store it, you can fold it, and then yeah, it was super easy to carry. I also lived on the first floor though, so I didn't really have to travel that far to the washer and dryers. The next thing is this. It's like a back support pillow. I still use it. I'm personally a huge fan of sitting on the floor. So I would put this against my desk and I would just do my homework on the floor sometimes, and that really helped it so my back just wasn't sitting against a hardwood surface. I also had kind of like a floor mat. It was like a fluffy rug that I used and I sat on. That's currently back in my college town, so I don't have that with me. I recommend getting a nice pillow, nice sheets, and a nice blanket. Now you're probably like, why? One, those things are expensive. I'm a college student. Why put the money into it? Because your sleep is super important, and the dorms are kind of already a haphazard to sleep because there's other people there. They're loud, your neighbors are loud. So if you can like make your body comfortable and fall asleep that way and can ignore the noise, that might be your best bet. If you are a very light sleeper, I would recommend bringing earplugs or using wireless headphones that cancel out noise. I never had to use them. I believe my roommate did though at some point. I think she put on podcasts to block out unwanted noise. I'm pretty sure she did that. I could be wrong. I probably should have asked her. She's my best friend. I could just text her and ask her now, but I don't think it's super important, but it is super useful. Also, if you have them on, or if you just like use earplugs and plug it into your phone and you have your phone alarm go off, then you'll hear it. Unlike earplugs, you might not hear your alarm go off for the next day. That's why I never used earplugs. I'm also a pretty heavy sleeper, so I didn't have a super hard time falling asleep because of noise. The next thing that I highly recommend, at least for me, it was a lifesaver, were lanyards, like a good lanyard, and getting one of these card holders. Mostly like it holds all your cards. I found it really useful because we had to key in, so I would have my key-in card in the front pocket, the easiest one to get in and out. So if I had my hands full, I could just like go like that and pull my card out so I could get into the building. And if you have like, you can have your keys on it. I kept this lanyard just because it was glow in the dark so I could find it anywhere. And it's really, really helpful. I bought it from ThredUp. Would recommend. They're not super expensive. I've had it for a year and it's still in pretty good condition. I was very rough with it, so there are like fraying and things, and I'll probably get a new one, not this upcoming year, but next year, because I still have to use my keying card sometimes. Obvious, a face towel. You probably don't want to be spending money constantly on paper towels, and then you're also going to want to get like a regular bath towel. I got 2 bath towels and 2 face towels so I could interchange when I was using it, so I would have one in the washer and then I could use another set. And next thing I would highly recommend, especially if you don't have a jointed bathroom, you have to use a communal bathroom, I would recommend getting a bathrobe. You're gonna need a shower caddy. You can't get out of it. I got the smaller one because you don't need a huge shower caddy. I know a hack that you could get travel size products and put them into the shower caddy. Would recommend that if you're willing to spend the time to transfer products. I would super recommend getting a reusable water bottle. This is a Hydro Flask. It is, I believe, 40 ounces. Yeah, for me, the worst thing was being thirsty in class. And you don't want to get out of class to go get a drink of water, then come back. It's kind of a mess. And getting water bottles, one, can be expensive, and like not reusable, one-use water bottles can be expensive. And I know in my dorm I had a reusable water station, so you just like stuck the water bottle in and it filled it for you, so it was really useful. It wasn't on my side of the hall, so it was kind of an inconvenience to go to that, but I know a lot of people in my hall used one. I also recommend getting a Brita. I got the Sports Brita. It's just like a water pitcher that has a filter because you really don't want to drink dorm water. More than likely those pipes are old. You don't want to do that to yourself. You really don't. I've also had this Hydro Flask for like 4 years now, so I just brought it to school with me. It was really helpful. Next, you're gonna want something like an iPad or a laptop to take to class if you can afford it. Your teachers will more likely let you take notes on an iPad or a laptop than they will you taking them on your phone. I know a lot of professors are like, no, you can't take notes on your phone. Most of my professors allow taking notes on laptops and iPads, but there were some that you had to use pencil and paper. I just found taking notes on my iPad so much easier. I just work on my desktop for like really long projects, but like I said, I like working on the floor, so having the option to go to my iPad was really helpful. Also, some of you won't want to drop the cash on a Mac or just a heavy computer, and you might not have space for it in the dorm. I mean, this is all the computer is what you see right here, so it was really easy to have. But if you have a computer and a monitor, like not this type of computer where it's like the system and then the monitor, then that can take up a lot of room and you probably don't want that. So when you're buying those things, just keep in mind that you do have limited space. For us girls, you're gonna want to get a makeup organizer or a brush holder so it's just not sprawled out everywhere, because it just makes finding things so much harder. I got one from the Container Store. I did leave it up in storage unit up in my college town because it is acrylic and I didn't want it to break transferring. So that might be something that you want to think about purchasing. I really enjoyed it. It made me see how much makeup I had, and it also made me kind of realize how little I do my makeup, so it kind of inspired me to do it more. But yeah, again, you're gonna have to get your textbooks. I know everyone says to like wait, but there are some professors who want you to have it the first day of class, and I know that's crazy, so like look for the cheaper books. Don't buy full price, just don't do it, it's not worth it. I got PDFs of things, like that's how you do it. Don't pay full price for the hardcover book. Even if you are someone who works better with a hardcover book, it's not worth the price, because sometimes you use it maybe once or twice and that's it, and you just dropped like $40 when you could have paid $10 for a online version. So just keep in mind that you might not use the whole book. You're probably gonna want to bring a fan. I brought a fan. We had 3 fans in my room. We had a window fan, which is just a box fan that took in air from the outside and turned it to cold air and like pushed the hot air out. I had a tiny fan that I never turned off. I think I turned it off once because I was decorating for Christmas and the wire was getting in the way, so I turned it off then. And then my roommate had a fan over her bed, which I don't know if she kept on or off. I think she kept it off most of the time, but I'm also someone who likes to be cold when I'm asleep. That kind of brings me to the next point. If you're moving somewhere cold and you're not used to a cold climate, bring a heated blanket. I used it all the time, especially when I was sitting on the floor. I just use it all the time because yes, I like being cold, but like I had my bed lofted, so all the cold air was up there, or all the hot air was up there, and all the cold air was down underneath my desk or underneath my bed where my desk was. So I got really cold, so I would just use my heated blanket. So then I was warm, but the room was still cold, so when I went to bed I could sleep. I personally love fairy lights. I don't know if you can see them on the wall. They're kind of high for you to see them, but I personally love them, and it just made the room so much homier because the room lights that they have are really harsh. So you may or may not want to invest in some of those. I did bring like little tiny decorations, like these were attached to my bed. So there are bringing little tiny decorations to make things more feel like home, I would do, but don't try to overdo it. One of my favorite things that I did was I started painting in the dorms, and then I would put my artwork up and display it. So one, it would take less room, and it would make the dorm room feel more lived in. For shoes, girls, I know you want to bring a lot of shoes. I did bring a lot of shoes, and I wore most of them. So I got like a big bucket, and I threw all the shoes that I didn't think I was going to wear often but still wanted to take in that bucket, and kept it in my dresser. And then I had like three or four pairs of shoes that I wore constantly. If you're trying to decide which shoes to bring a good pair of running workout shoes that you're okay with wearing daily. I love these. I wear them to work. I wore them around campus. I just loved wearing them. And other shoes here. Oh, they're over here. I'm a huge fan of Birkenstocks. They're the better sandal in my opinion. I don't like having things around my toes or around my heels, so I wore these constantly around campus. So bring a good pair of sandals that you like. And then I had these pair of boots that I got from Target a while ago. they were really helpful when it snowed and when it was raining, because my campus just got puddles everywhere, and it's not a fabric, it's like a leather, so water didn't go into my shoes. I had rain boots, I wore them constantly. I brought Uggs, I wore those when it wasn't raining or snowing and there wasn't water collected on the ground. I brought a pair of heels that were black, just basic. I never wore them. And then I had Converse, which I wore a lot. So you're gonna wear your tennis shoes and your sandals probably the most, along with, if you bring Uggs, probably those. You're gonna wear them a lot. And that's pretty much like that for shoes. I brought perfume. I liked perfume. It made our room smell good. Be careful with that. Make sure your roommate isn't allergic to them, and make sure that they're scents that she would like if you're spraying it around the room. My roommate and I didn't really have a problem with that. At least I don't think we did. That was never brought up. She wasn't like, your perfume is too much for me, which if it was, I wouldn't wear it. But she's also my best friend, and I've been wearing these scents for years now, so I think she's kind of used to them. Things, you're gonna want to bring a microwave if you don't have a microwave. You're gonna want to bring a fridge if you're not on a meal plan, or you know you want to eat at home. I have these lovely storage drawers that I brought that I kept underneath my sink with my hair stuff. I really like those. They were very helpful, and it just like kept clutter out of my room. Even though I brought too much stuff, I just did. I really did like having those. You're gonna want to have masks on hand. You're gonna want to bring command hooks. I use so many command hooks in my room. We had a little station in our room where we would like hang our keys right by the door, and I never forgot my keys. I always brought them. So that was, I enjoyed that a lot. Don't bring a lot of decorative pillows. I would say 2 tops. You don't need them. They're just gonna take up space in your bed. I did bring a body pillow, and I put it against the wall so I wouldn't run into the wall and bang my knees up, because I do that because it is a twin bed. And then I had my I don't really know, it was just like a bar to keep you in your bed on the other side, and I had another pillow by my face, so I was kind of blocked in, so my face wouldn't be hitting the roll gate bed fall off. I don't know what it's called. You know what I'm talking about if you're living in a dorm and you're lofting your bed. And then I had pillow. I would lay on this pillow, and if I rolled, I wouldn't be banging my head on the wall or the gate thing. So I would recommend having pillows to block you in. You're gonna want to bring in extension cords. Don't know what the hand movement was, but it's whatever. You're gonna want to bring them. You're gonna want to bring a little bit of light, like something that will light up your bed just a little bit. You don't want harsh lighting, because if your roommate's trying to go to sleep and you're trying to do something, you don't want to be that person. So I know you're probably gonna want to bring pictures of friends and family. I know I did. It just made it feel a lot homier. If you are a bookworm like me, I love reading, do not bring books. Don't bring books, because you're probably going to end up buying books there, and then you're not going to have room if you already brought books. So don't bring your favorite books, unless it's like a comfort piece and you read it when you're stressed, then bring that. You're going to want it. But don't bring books you're like, I'm gonna read this, because you're probably not gonna have time. I know I didn't, but you can if you're gonna be up there and you buy books, you probably know what your schedule is going to look at that point to know if you'll be able to read them or not. So I recommend doing that. You're gonna want to get some desk organization because you don't want a messy desk. It will probably bug your roommate. And you're just going to have a little bit of a harder time finding things because everything will be smushed in one area. You don't really want that. The last thing that you're going to want to get is like stuff to hang your clothes in. I never used a shoe rack. My bucket method worked just fine for me. It took a lot less space than a shoe rack. I put command hooks inside of my door of my dresser, and that's how I hung my jewelry. I had like pant hangers, regular hangers, and then the felt hangers, and that's kind of what I used for my hanging. And then I had buckets for like bras and underwear and socks and hats and scarves. That's kind of how my dresser looked, and that's kind of all those things are kind of all I needed to use. So that's pretty much all of the stuff that I think you should bring. If there's something that you think I've missed, please leave it in the comments down below. Also, if there is something that you absolutely believe that you should not bring, like me, I don't believe that you should bring a TV. I would have never used it. I didn't have time. I just used my computer and iPad, and that's what I used to watch things on. Don't bring a TV. But if you have something that you're like, don't bring it, leave it in the comments. I'm sure someone would find it helpful. So I had already ended this video, and I realized that there are a few essential things that I forgot to mention to bring. Like, there's just a few things. Like, you're going to want to have soap, toothpaste, a toothbrush. For girls, you're probably going to have a curling iron or a flat iron. I never used a dryer. That's not really my thing though, but if that is, you're going to want to bring that. You're going to want to have reusable plates and bowls and silverware and cups. I forgot all of those things. I never really used our kitchen in my dorm, and your RAs or like the front desk people will have stuff to borrow. Your RAs themselves are not responsible for providing you things to borrow, but they can point you to where you can go borrow it. But they have like oven mitts, pots, pans, utensils to stir it, things like that they have, so you can borrow those things. I can't believe I forgot those, but yeah. That's me butting in. That's pretty much it for this video. If you liked the video, please like the like button down below. If you want to see more of my content, you can click one of the two boxes over here or my face over here. If you want to see more of my life, you can check out my social media. They'll be linked down below. I hope you all have a wonderful day and new school year. And remember to be yourself, because you're the only self you're ever going to be. Bye!